What is up, my sweet and spicy, sexy ass people? Today, we are back for another, I guess, Marvel v Shonen versus tier list. It's more Spider-Man v Shonen versus tier list. Like I said last week, this time we're doing the Spider-Man, or not Spider-Man, Shonen Jump villains. Just as a quick heads up for y'all, I think what I'm gonna do next week is I'm actually gonna flip the script. We'll probably take somebody from like the Shonen universe and have them go up against either DC or Marvel characters, right? So just wanted to give y'all a little bit of a heads up. I think that's what I'll be doing for a little while. I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. It's the more I've been thinking about like how Marvel characters would interact in Shonen universes and sort of vice versa, and you know DC characters obviously. The more I've been like, I don't know, man. When I was a few years ago, total tangent. I will hopefully timestamp down below where you can skip to avoid that tangent. But a few years ago, I started a D&D campaign with some friends that very quickly fell apart, as they do. But the whole idea, right, was that I want every single like universe that I'm a fan of to kind of be involved in this universe. So it would be like a shared multiversal experience, which through D&D is actually very possible, right? Oh, let me readjust my camera. Here we are. Hey, what's up, baby boys and ladies and baby they thems? What do you call a baby they them? I guess a baby they them. I don't know. Maybe whatever. But yeah. So yes, a couple of years ago, I started a D&D campaign that took place in the City of Doors. And through the City of Doors, that it would kind of connect outwardly to every D&D universe, but also every universe that I'm a fan of, right? So like Naruto, Dragon Ball, Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, DC, Marvel, the Invincible universe, a bajillion others, right? I had this crazy, insane idea. And it's never come to fruition because I could never find the right group. So if you out there are watching, please feel free to take that idea, have fun with it, enjoy it, roll with it. And if you make it come to life, you know, shoot me a message. Let me know how it goes, because I really just love these stories, and I just really want to create within the realms of them, if that makes sense. But all that having been said, the point of that tangent was, the more I think about it, the more I kind of want to create a universal or multiversal storyline to connect all of these universes, maybe right here on the channel. So if y'all be interested in something like that, you know, link down below, let me know, or not link down below, but comment down below, let me know. See if y'all are interested, you know, just please let me know, because that is something I do want to kind of start doing. Don't get me wrong, I love reaction content, I love tier list content, but I do want to expand my YouTube palette a little bit more, kind of get a feel for all the other different types of content that are out there. So yeah, just let me know down below if y'all be interested. All that having been said, let's go ahead and hop into this, bro. So, starting off, we got Madara Uchiha, alright? And this really is just the same argument that I brought for Batman, right? If Spider-Man struggled against the nine-tailed fox, Naruto, because he's a nuke, how the fuck's he gonna handle 9 goddamn nukes, right? He's not. He gets bodied. He gets washed. Madara, Spidey splats a Spider-Man. He 1B bajillion the whole ass ninja army, bro. He drops 2 meteors on a guy and they're done. I mean, he's just goated with the sauce, dude. One of the best Naruto villains of all time. At me, if you want. Next up, this guy. I know him, you know him, we know him. He's the unknown fighter who gets splatted by Spider-Man. Woo! Next up, Dobby. So this one's a little more interesting. Dobby has incredibly hot fire, right? That's his whole gimmick, his whole shtick. And that would melt Spider-Man's webs. So the question really would then be, is the only way Spider-Man could beat Dobby by using his webs? To me, the answer is probably not, right? Because I could be wrong. I think Spider-Man does have a villain in his like rogues gallery that this is not coffee, by the way. It's Ghost energy drink, but I wanted it cold, so I threw ice in it. I'm drinking it like it's a coffee. But yeah, so I think Spider-Man has a guy in his rogues gallery that uses fire. Correct me down below if I'm wrong, but I think that's true. The only reason I say that is because I feel like every villain kind of has a guy who uses fire in the rogues gallery. So, and to my understanding, Dobby is not any more or less durable than just a dude, right? Like, he might be able to take more punishment, but I think his body is just a human body that can use firepower. So Spider-Man, like, punches him twice, and Homeboy's gonna be knocked out, if not murdered. So, low-key, I mean, Dobby gets captured, he gets thrown to Blackthorn, bro. Blackthorn Prison, by the way, for those who don't know, is actually a prison Miguel O'Hara started to stop some alternate reality. I just Wikipedia'd Marvel prisons, and I saw this one, and I was like, oh, well, Miguel O'Hara's like future Spider-Man. I guess that counts as a Spider-Man prison, so we'll just use this. So yeah, that's what Blackthorn is, and that's where Dobby gets thrown. He gets chucked there mad quick, bro. Next up, Pito. Okay, alright, so this is going to be interesting. So, as we discussed in previous tier lists, right, Pito uses her Nan ability. She's from Hunter x Hunter. He's from Hunter x Hunter. They're from Hunter x Hunter. Pito's Nan ability is like puppeting around dead people almost, and I guess kind of using Nen strings. It's not ever really like totally fully explained, but she's kind of able to morph people's bodies, right? Her Nen is incredibly immense, like disgustingly, absurdly immense, right? So much so that it almost overshadowed Netero's, if not actually overshadowed Netero's, right? So the question now becomes, would Spider-Man's Spidey powers be able to combat Pito's Nen? Now, the thing here is that Pito is also very physically capable, but Spider-Man has the Spidey sense, right? So would Spidey sense be enough to compensate for his lack of physical prowess compared to Pito? That's a tough question to answer. Truly, I'm not sure. I don't know. We also don't know how durable Pito is, right? Because the only fights we ever saw Pito in were washes. Either they were washing somebody else, or they got washed, specifically by One Punch Man Go. I think, weirdly, because of that, we're going to throw this in 50-50. Batman gets slaughtered because Batman doesn't have a healing factor and he doesn't have Spidey sense, right? Love you, Bats. That's just the facts. But I think Spider-Man has a much higher chance of surviving against Pito. And I think there's a world where Pito gets taken in. Maybe thrown to Blackthorn. I mean, if she goes to Blackthorn, she's breaking out lickety-split and then causing more mayhem, right? So, but yeah, I think this fight's actually a lot more 50-50 than other people might give it credit for. Like I said, I think Spider-Man will fare better than our boy Batman in this upcoming tier list, just by virtue of all the advantages Spider-Man has compared to Batman. So, you know, and also, these are all just my opinions, so if you don't like them, tough. Leave down below if you don't like my opinions, right? I'll agree with any of you. Next up, we have our boy Frieza. Golly gee, where would a guy who can explode planets go when they fight Spider-Man? I don't know. I feel like Spidey Splats is not high enough. Maybe Spidey atomization. Maybe. I think that would make more sense. But yes, obviously Frieza clean washes Spider-Man. No contest, right? No even need to discuss that. Who the fuck is this guy? Who is this? I don't know. He's got like curse mark shit over his face. If I remember who he is later, we'll come back to him. But I think for right now, he goes here, brother. I don't know who he is, but Spidey definitely at least low diffs. Next up, this looks like a Demon Slayer guy. And for all the Demon Slayer villains, we're going to use the logic we use for all the Demon Slayers themselves. These are guys who just get beaten by dudes with swords. You think Spider-Man can do to a Demon Slayer what a motherfucker with a sword can do to a demon? I maybe worded that weird. It's fine. This is a high diff, excuse me. Spider-Man easy throws this guy into goddamn prison. Alright. Next up, Diabolo, brother. Okay, so the real question here becomes, Diabolo's able to skip through time, right? Like he's able to literally remove spaces of time in which he exists, but his opponents cannot act or react. But we've also seen instances of the Spidey sense doing things it shouldn't be able to do, right? Case in point in Spider-Man No Way Home. When Doctor Strange removes Spider-Man's soul from his body, we see the Spidey sense actually like automatically move Spider-Man's body, right? Like it's autonomous. It does it by itself. So the question then becomes, is the Spidey sense so overwhelmingly powerful it could anticipate the removal of time? And I think the answer to that question is probably not. Probably not. Spider-Man is really fucking cool, and I think as long as the body's able to move, the Spidey sense is broken. But the way the time skipping works is that within the 5 seconds Diavolo skips, the people around him don't realize time has stopped, right? They don't or not even time has stopped, but like time has been removed. And in those fights, it's kind of like a much more personal time skip that Diavolo uses, right? Like Dio has a time stop, but Diavolo skips that time. He's still able to activate, like act and move in that time frame, but literally no one else is able to. No one's able to adapt to it either, because again, he's not stopping time, he's skipping it. There's a 5-second window where he and only he is able to exist and move around in the universe, right? So I think because of the way his abilities work, I think he's Splat Spidey. I hate to be that guy. I genuinely do. Because like, if Diavolo gets caught by Spider-Man like one time, it's game over, right? I don't think there's a world where he's living, but if he constantly just uses his stand, I forget what it's called. I think Crimson King, Red, some weird shit like that. It looks really freaky. I think if he just keeps on using that, it's an easy dub. It's an easy win. Oh, let me also, yeah, Niall can see this. Perfect. It's an easy dub. It's an easy dub. Diavolo washes 10 out of 10 times. Next up, this devil from Asta's universe, from Black Clover. This one is tough. I don't think he's Spidey Splats, for sure. I think there's a clear, like, diff between the 3 up top and this guy. So I guess the real question is could this guy beat Pito? Because if I don't think this guy can beat Pito, then I don't think he could beat Spider-Man either. I think at best it's a 50-50, right? I also might be giving Pito too much credit, but I think the Hunter x Hunter characters are all broken as hell, so my 2 cents. Next up, Pain from Naruto. That's how I imagine Pain talks. I think I've heard his voice in the dub maybe once, and it was from Ultimate Ninja Storm 2. Shout out to Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 if y'all play that game. Game is goated. Pain. Man, this one is not really that tough. I think there's a clear difference between these 3 and Pain, but I think Pain would still probably wash Spider-Man. Respectfully beats the dog shit out of him, right? Don't get me wrong, Spider-Man could put up a fight, and with Spidey sense, he could put up a very good fight. But when Pain shows up, you're not just dealing with one guy, you're getting jumped. You're getting jumped by a squad of fools who all have different specialities and like crazy different powers. It's grody, man. It's gross. The way Pain fights is mad dirty, dude. R.I.P. Jiraiya. My goat. But yeah, I think Pain easy washes Spider-Man. I don't think there's ever a world where he doesn't. Next up, Part 7 JoJo villain. Don't know anything about his powers, so until I do, Spider-Man low diffs him. Crollo Lucifer. Man, oh man. Okay, so this might be a controversial take. I'm not gonna front. This might be a bit controversial. I think he goes here. Alright, let me explain my reasoning. And yes, I am confirming that I think Crollo would beat Pito in a one-on-one fight. I don't think there's any doubt about that in my mind. Crollo's like one of the most exemplary Nen users we've had in the history of Hunter x Hunter, right? And that's by virtue of the fact that his Nen ability is just taking other people's Nen abilities. Like, it's crazy. So he's got a whole book of Nen abilities that he can just use. And we don't know the upper limits of that, right? We don't understand exactly what all Nen abilities he has, but he has a fuck ton, and they're all different, they're all unique. And I think Spider-Man is very strong, and he's very tough, and he's very resilient. But even I don't even know if Spider-Man would have the capability to deal with a guy whose powers can switch at the drop of a hat, right? So it's kind of insane, kind of wild. Realistically, there's maybe a shot. It's like he's the top of right here, but I think it would be unfair to say Crollo and Pito are on the same level. I think Crollo's straight up just stronger. So I'm gonna put Crollo and respectfully beats the dog shit out of Spidey. Acnologia, man, how do y'all think Spider-Man beats the strongest dragon of all time? That's the question, right? Here's the answer. He doesn't. He doesn't beat the strongest dragon of all time. He gets washed, bro. He gets washed. Dude, I mean, Acnologia is like stronger than every other dragon in existence in Fairy Tail. It's so absurdly ridiculous how powerful this guy is. I actually think he washes him harder than Diavolo. Does he wash him harder than Madara? I don't think so. Madara can drop a meteor on him. Next up, Ulquiorra. Huh. This is kind of tough. Ulquiorra's definitely much more durable than all the other guys here. His Sero capabilities are insane. He's very, very powerful, right? He's only number 4 in the Espada. Is he stronger than Madara? That's the question. Oh, man. Is he stronger than Diavolo? I think Diavolo would probably beat Ulquiorra. Because, again, time skipping it's broken. It's absurdly gross. So I think because of that, what we'll do is we'll put Ulquiorra here. I do think Ulquiorra probably washes him harder than Crollo, but less harder than Pain. I think that's a fair place to put him. And he would very respectfully beat the dog shit out of him. Because Ulquiorra, as we saw, was very gentlemanly in the Arrancar arc. A complete and total fucking dick, absolutely. But still kind of more gentle than the other Arrancar, right? So I think it's fine to put him here. King Charles. That's not his fucking name. What's this guy's name? It's not Crollo. Julius. King Julius, but his evil alter half, that's an angel. This guy is mad powerful, mad strong. He's able to turn people into angels, which then also turns them subservient to him, right? Man, I'm not gonna front. I don't know if this guy turning other people subservient to him puts him on the same level as Pain. Maybe it does, because it does grant them angel abilities, and then those angel abilities are like just crazy powerful magic. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna put him at top of respectfully beats the dog shit. I think he might just be able to beat out Pain a little bit more in terms of beating up Spider-Man. But I do think this is probably accurate. Like, in a one-on-one, there's maybe a world where Spider-Man wins. I still haven't really seen all of what this guy can do, so I could be wrong. But, like, it's not just gonna be a one-on-one, right? Say they're fighting in New York City. You think this man's not gonna go around to every single human and be like, hey, you work for me now. Hey, you work for me now. Hey, you work for me now. And then have, like, a small army to just beat the ever-living fuck out of Spider-Man. Man's is almost... You know what? I'm actually gonna change this. He's an Avengers-level threat. I think he belongs in Splat Spidey. That's kind of how I'm gonna grade these guys. If they're Avengers-level threats, they should be up here. Diavolo is... He's probably an Avengers level threat. There's maybe a world, there should maybe be a category between these two where like Diavolo would go, but I think he'll be at the bottom of here, top of up here. Well, whatever, however y'all want to put it, but I think he's better than Pain, so we'll keep him up here for now. Piccolo Jr. So, first off, Piccolo Jr. not a villain, only in the last arc of OG Dragon Ball. That's the only time he's actually villainous, right? But for the sake of argument, this guy is a planet buster, right? He's as strong as Super Saiyan Goku, if not stronger by the end of Cell Arc. By the end of the fucking superhero movie, he's like on par with Super Saiyan Blue, so he's definitely like Universe Buster level at that point, right? He also has not a healing factor, but if a body part of his is ripped off or is damaged, he himself can rip it off and just grow a new one. That does consume stamina, but the fact of the matter remains that he's able to heal damage from himself, right? Which is bananas. So I think just for those three reasons, it's a wash. It's a clean wash. I think he splats Spider-Man all day and night. There's not really a contest. Also, he has the Special Beam Cannon, which is a cannon that drills, and that's what makes it special. And that's broken. Alright. Next up, Kizaru. Okay, so we've seen Spidey Sense alert Spider-Man to incoming danger. The question, though, is does it alert him to speed of light levels of danger, right? I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But I also think the fact that Kizaru does move at the speed of light, would he be an Avengers level threat? If he really, really wanted to be, I think he could, but considering his personality, this is our boy Big Business Borsalino, you know what I'm saying? So, I think he'd probably respectfully beat the dog shit out of Spider-Man. Respectfully beat the dog shit out of. Probably harder than... Would he beat him harder than Ulquiorra? We'll say yes, because I like One Piece. Next up, Cell. He's like Frieza, but stronger. I guess technically weaker, if we're talking about Super, which this picture is from Super, so we'll actually put him here. But I still think this is like easy wash. We'll actually put Piccolo up here. I think the Dragon Ball characters are just so absurdly powerful, it kind of puts everyone else to shame. But yeah, so Cell's the same. He's got the same MO as Frieza. Wants to take over the universe, can blow up planets with like one finger, so why the fuck would he just atomize Spider-Man on the spot? Cars from JoJo. This one is a little bit tougher. Cars is very durable. He's very strong. He's also a vampire. And if we're talking about Cars, after he gets that one stone that makes him immune to light, the fight does become exponentially harder. But that all having been said, I don't think it's a wash one way or the other. I think this is much more 50-50 than people might want to admit. Sure, he's tough. Sure, he's strong. I don't remember if he has a healing factor, but Spider-Man is ridiculously tough, ridiculously strong, and has a ridiculous healing factor. Plus, he has Spidey sense. So any hit that Cars throws at him, he can kind of have foresight into and then dodge appropriately. Next up, who is this guy? I think he's from Naruto. Don't really recognize him. We'll say Spidey Lotus. This guy's definitely from Naruto. I think this is the guy that fights... Is this the guy that fights Sasuke and Naruto in the Boruto movie? Or is this the guy that's now leading the tree people? It's one of those two. And regardless of which one of those two it is, probably low-dose Spider-Man. This guy's probably an Avengers level threat. He's kind of crack, kind of hoodie. Grimjow Jabberjack. I still don't think that's his last name. I kind of forget what it is. Jammerjack? No. Jaggerjack. Jimjow Jaggerjack. I think that's his name. He's on Ulquiorra levels, right? He probably goes right here, right next to Ulquiorra. They're from like the same kind of people. In fact, he disrespectfully beats the dog shot out of Spidey. I still don't think he splat Spidey, but he definitely disrespectfully beats the dog shot out of him. Poochie! If we're talking about Poochie with Made in Heaven, nobody wins, right? Nobody wins against that. If we're talking about regular Poochie with his other stand abilities, I think he's probably down here. His other stand abilities are very cool, very good, but I think Spider-Man has dealt with gravity-controlling villains before, and I don't remember what his other stand ability is, but I think it's kind of weak compared to the gravity one, so. But if we're talking about him at his max, he's up here, and we'll just leave him up here for now. We'll probably move this guy, like, right here. I don't think he comes close to Madara. We'll move Poochie. Low-key, I kind of want to put Poochie at the top, because, like, what do you do to somebody who's just speeding up time to restart the universe? Nothing. You can't beat that, right? You have you have to have a stand ability, and that stand ability has to be able to stop other stand abilities. That's the only way I can think of. Kaido! Whether it's in land, sea, or air, always bet on Kaido, brother. This is the strongest creature under the heavens. Until Gear 5 Luffy showed up and whipped his ass. But, he's another goddamn dragon, brother. And what the fuck is Spider-Man gonna do to a goddamn dragon? I'll tell you what, he's gonna get his ass eaten, bro. I could maybe word that better. Kaido washes. I think that's an easy, every day of the week, Kaido washes the fuck out of Spider-Man, dog. Sukuna. Okay, so. Sukuna beat Gojo, but this isn't that Sukuna. This is Sukuna and Yuji's body, right? So this is like a couple of fingers deep Sakuna. And I think for that reason and that reason alone, he probably gets thrown into Blackthorn. He's not at his full power, right? He's also just... His abilities are what? The Invisible Slashes and Malevolent Shrine? Do we even see him use Malevolent Shrine before he's in Megumi's body? I don't think we do, right? And for those two reasons, I think it just kind of makes sense to throw him into Blackthorn, because like Invisible Slashes, Spider-Man has Spike Sense. He can dodge those all day. And sure, Sakuna might be durable, but it doesn't have a healing factor, whereas Spider-Man does. So any damage Spider-Man takes will slowly begin to heal. Any damage Sakuna takes is just going to sit on him, right? And Spider-Man is a strong-ass motherfucker, so Spider-Man's going to beat the fuck out of him. Next up, Gin Ichimaru. Huh. This might be controversial. I'm not gonna front. This might be controversial. I think Gin loses. I think Gin gets thrown in Blackthorn like that. Reason being, Gin's main ability, his sword, can change lengths. That's the end all and be all of it. And sure, it can go invisible, but even an invisible speeding sword can't compare to Spidey sense, right? You have to move at the speed of light. Let me know down below if it does move at the speed of light. I might be just super wrong about that. But unless it moves at the speed of light, like it's an instantaneous growth, I think Gin just gets washed. Because like, what the fuck is he gonna do to Spider-Man? Spider-Man just jumps around, dodges everything Gin has, slowly whittles him down, and then Gin gets thrown into jail, and that's the end of that. Speaking of guys who get thrown in jail, this guy, Chisaki, I forget his mob name, but it doesn't matter because he's a bitch and he sucks. And oh, he gets big, Spider-Man's being big, guys. Who cares? Blackbeard. Okay, so I think this fight kind of depends on where it is they are fighting. If they're fighting in New York City, I think Blackbeard, it's a wash. I think Blackbeard wins. Because Spider-Man would be too focused on saving people from Blackbeard to actually fight Blackbeard. And then Blackbeard would just suck him up into a black hole in his game, right? If they're fighting 1v1 in like a wasteland or something, or maybe not a wasteland, like a forest, I think Spider-Man kind of takes it. Because Blackbeard, unlike other Logia fruit users, can't make his body intangible. Whatever damage he's going to be taking, he has to just take, right? So that means he'll get webbed up, so he'd have to use Hockey, I think, to break through it. Which I think Armament Hockey maybe could not. It just depends on how strong the webbing is. And more importantly, every punch Spider-Man throws at him, he's gonna feel. Anything he's trying to throw at Spider-Man, the Spidey sense can kind of account for, right? So I actually think because of that, because he would be here in a forest and here in New York City, we'll throw him right here. The environment will heavily depend on whether or not Blackbeard wins, and that just makes sense to me. Zeref. Okay, so we talked about Zeref's powers in the last tier list, but just to summarize, he uses black magic. When he's feeling emotionless, his magic is in control. When he's feeling emotional, his magic spirals out of control. He has like 7 or 8 insta-kill spells. He's able to make demons. I don't know about y'all. Insta-kill spells means an insta-dub for me. I think this is an easy wash. I think this guy would be an easy Avengers level threat, right? Like, there's no doubt in my mind he would be. So yeah, we'll throw him up here. Don Quixote do Flamingo. Alright, so this one's a little weird. I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. When a girl walks in with an itty-bitty waist and a round thing in her face, you get sprung. Tangent. Alright. So, Doflamingo is very interesting. Because again, I think this comes down to environment, right? If Doflamingo is fighting with other people around, he will heartlessly, ruthlessly, and cunningly use them as meat shields, which would then force Spider-Man to back off. And while Spider-Man is backing off, Dofi uses his strings to attach to Spider-Man to puppet him around. Whether or not Spider-Man can break free of those strings, I don't know. But what I do know is Dofi is smart enough to realize Spider-Man's weakness is the fact that he wants to save people, which not really a weakness, but in terms of like fighting against somebody else, something that can be exploited, right? So weakness for this particular scenario. And Dofi would be more than willing to utilize that weakness. And I think for that alone, again, if they're fighting like in a forest, I think Spider-Man wins like 10 out of 10 times, right? Dofi would probably have to awaken his devil fruit to turn the surroundings into string. Actually, that's a fair point. If Dofi awakens his devil fruit and turns the surrounding into strings, I think he does actually win even in a forest. So we'll put him in respect. We'll put him at the bottom and respectfully beats the dog shit out of Spider-Man. Crocodile. Crocodile, I think this is also probably respectfully beats the dog shit out of. We'll put him right above Dofi. For the simple fact that Spider-Man wouldn't have the insight, and I don't think he has anything like wet prepared. So if it rains, Crocodile's screwed, right? I think that's pretty safe to say. But if it doesn't rain, assuming it's in conditions that Crocodile is at least aware of, I think Crocodile wins because like just the intangibility of devil fruits via Logia. That was weird. Via Logia devil fruits, the intangibility granted through that. I think that just makes all the Logia fruit users so much more powerful against Spider-Man specifically. Especially because we're saying Spider-Man doesn't get Hockey. Now, if he could learn Hockey, all these fights would be very different, right? A lot of these guys would probably get loaded. But we're going to assume that he doesn't have access to Hockey. We're going to assume they just kind of show up in New York. Because that's just kind of how I want to do it. So, suck it, I guess. Jiren! You know who beats Jiren in this list? Fucking nobody. Jiren, well, we'll keep Poochie up top, because again, I don't think Jiren has a way to save the universe from speeding up, besides, I guess, outright just killing Poochie, but... Oh, I guess that's fair. If they outright kill Poochie, I guess they win, so we'll put them down here. Actually, I think now that I say that, I think we'll put them, like, right here. We'll move Zeref. I actually think Poochie dying means that he's probably at the bottom, but neither here nor there. Alright, next up. Jiren's broken. Enough said. Next up, Itachi. So Itachi is comparable to Pain in terms of stats, at least in my mind. He's the most prolific Sharingan user we've ever seen, save for exactly Madara, and I guess later on in Boruto's Sasuke. So for those... Ooh, Whoop. So for those reasons, we'll go ahead and throw them right next to Pain. These two are like interchangeable, either or could be higher or lower. Goku Black, going right next to every other Dragon Ball character. We'll put him right here. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think Black Frieza is probably stronger than Goku Black, but that's neither here nor there. This guy from Black Clover. I think our boy will have a much harder time against him. I'd forgotten his full power set, but I remember him being stronger than this devil, I think. So because of that, we'll just put him right here. Who the fuck is this? Is this the guy from Monster? Is this the fucking kid spoilers for Monster. Is this the kid the doctor saves and then goes on to become like a sociopathic mass murderer? If it is, I mean, shit, he's just a guy with a gun throwing a Blackthorn. Kira Yoshikage. Okay, so again, I think Spidey sense is really the main differentiator here, right? Because while Spider-Man can't see stands, he's able to kind of predict where they're coming from by virtue of Spidey sense. And I think for that alone, Killer Queen puts in less work than maybe Kira would like. And I think for that reason, Kira probably actually gets washed here. Tomura Shigaraki, if Spider-Man gets touched, he dies, but Spidey sense will prevent that. Thrown into Blackthorn. Demon from Demon Slayer, thrown into Blackthorn. These are getting easier. I don't know who this is, but Spidey probably Lotus. Dio. I mean, like I said before, I think Diavolo's time skip might be a little bit stronger than time stopping, but Dio's also a vampire. So he's gonna be at least around here. My 2 cents. I don't think there's a world where Spider-Man can beat Dio. Obito, on par with Madara. We don't see him summon a meteor though, so we'll put him under Acnologia. Hisoka. Okay, so this is a fun one. Can Spider-Man beat somebody who uses a power that utilizes both the abilities of rubber and gum? That really is the question. It's a powerful ability, to say the least. And I know I'm kind of being a shit about it, but I'm being fully serious. We've seen Hisoka change his face because of bungee gum. We've seen Hisoka heal himself because of bungee gum. We've seen heal himself, not really heal the injuries, but like make sure that the injuries don't affect him through the use of bungee gum. And the way Hisoka uses bungee gum is so smart and so effective. I think this fight is actually very 50-50. I think it fully depends again on where they're fighting. But I think knowing Hisoka's personality, Hisoka's A-okay with using people as shields. We saw that during the fucking Tower of Heaven fight between him and Chrollo, right? So yeah, no, I think it's very 50-50. I think it's very, very 50-50. There's other people around. I think Spider-Man struggles. If there's not, then I think Spider-Man probably easy washes. So this is very environment-based, but in a 1v1, I think he's probably closer to like down here. But I kind of like him right at the top of 50-50 because he is a smart motherfucker. Akainu, Izologia, has probably powerful hockey, has lava powers. This is an easy wash. We'll put him... I think he probably washes him harder than Chrollo, if I'm being for real. This guy from Hunter x Hunter has buff stats. You know who else has buff stats? Spider-Man. This guy gets thrown. Illumi with the remote control thing. I think Illumi wins 100 times out of 100 because his remote control thing is... It's purely based around people. So there's never a world where he's fighting without having people around, right? Who the fuck is this? Some guy from Demon Slayer? I don't know. Probably gets Lotused. Anel, made of lightning, intangible, has decent hockey. Probably gonna be behind Doflamingo if I'm being for real. He might be a little bit above. I know his bounty was going to be like 500 million when Oda dropped that SBS. We'll put him above Doflamingo because Doflamingo's not intangible. Aizen, Sosuke Aizen. I think he washes him harder than either of these two. Main reason being is that Aizen is the smartest and most manipulative motherfucker probably on this list. I don't think there's a world where Spider-Man could even begin to like compare and or compete with Aizen, right? Let me make sure my camera's centered. What's up? Yeah, so I think that's just how it's gonna be. Aizen is incredibly powerful, incredibly fast, incredibly smart, incredibly calculating, incredibly manipulative. Like, all those together, he's an Avengers level threat, easy, 10 out of 10 times out of the week. He's an Avengers level threat. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Toji is, I think, this guy's name. Megumi's dad. Very strong, very capable, very smart. You know who is also all of those things, but also has Spidey sense? The goddamn Spider-Man. This guy gets thrown in Blackthorn. Meruem, brother. If I hadn't already talked so much, I would love to give a small spiel about Meruem. But here's what I think would ultimately happen. If Spider-Man and Meruem met, and Meruem met Spider-Man with the same cadence and respect he did Netero, I don't think they would fight. I think they would actually come to an understanding. Now, if they did fight, would Meruem win? Yeah. Fucking obviously, yes. He beat Netero, bro. He survived it. Well, he didn't survive an atomic bomb. He had to be fed to survive an atomic bomb. But still, Mans is insane. Mans is goated with the sauce. I think I'll put him right under Acnologia. I don't know if he beats Acnologia. That's a very interesting fight that I would like to see happen. Death battle, people get on it. But yeah, I think he clean washes. If he beats Netero, anybody who beats Netero probably also beats Spider-Man. That's just kind of how I'm putting it. I don't know who this guy is. He might be from Berserk, but he gets washed. And then finally, Yawak. The guy who can literally change time after time takes place. I don't know if y'all understand what I just said. I barely understand what I just said. But that puts him... Aizen couldn't beat him. I think that probably puts him like right here. So yeah, this is our tier list. Short and sweet, pretty easy. But yeah, I mean, again, like a bajillion people who splat Spidey. A bajillion people who disrespectfully beat the dog shit out of Spidey. And we got a healthy bit of people that Spidey beats, that Spidey can like 50-50. But again, anybody from like city busting, planet busting and above, they clean wash Spider-Man almost every day of the week. There's no helping it, right? But yeah, this is the tier list. If y'all enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe. If y'all enjoyed the vibes, y'all enjoyed me, check out the other videos I got on the channel. Let me know what other kind of content y'all want to see from me, man. I do kind of want to start live streaming some games because I do want to play some games, but I'm also so pressed for time, right? That's the eternal curse of everybody's life, right? Do we have enough time to do all the things we want to do? I just got to figure it out. Hopefully within the coming months, I'll have some sort of schedule figured out for it. Reviews are incoming. I'll keep on saying that until my first review is out. I swear to God, the Legends of Vox Machina review will be up sooner than rather than later. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's it from me. I will catch you sweet and spicy, sexy ass Spidey Man lovers next time. Later.